Upselling is one of the most important things on Upwork, and almost nobody talks about it on YouTube. And the reason they can't talk about it is because most of the people that talk about doing Upwork don't actually get big clients on Upwork. They don't actually make money with Upwork. So in this video, I want to talk to you about my upselling strategy that has allowed me to have almost zero churn over the last 5 months on Upwork. And think about it, when you constantly upsell clients on Upwork, you're going to make so much more money and so much more money consistently on the platform. And I have actual strategies that I want to talk to you about on this channel, and this is going to blow your mind. I almost guarantee you will have never heard some of these strategies. So let's jump in. Now, in my opinion, upselling on Upwork is one of the most important strategies. It's so important, and ultimately, if you can increase the LTV of your client, the lifetime value of your client, you never need to get into a situation where you're constantly looking for new clients. Like, think about it. If I have a 6-figure client, what's easier? Is it getting 10 clients for 10K per month and having all of that operational headache and complexity? Or is it easier for me to just charge my existing 6-figure client another 100K? And by the way, that's exactly what I'm doing. Our $160,000 client on Upwork, which I showed you guys, we're doing another 100K deal with them right after this one. I would have to close a bunch of clients and have a bunch of headache and maybe bring on more staff. Or I could just work with the existing clients that already want to work with me. And ultimately, if you get nothing out of this video, just remember this one thing. It's so much easier to upsell an existing client than it is to get a new client, because there's so much trust involved in that process. But let's actually get into some strategies on how to upsell clients. Now, the first strategy I want to talk about is something that only I can talk about, because nobody else on YouTube who talks about Upwork is actually doing this, because none of these guys are actually serious. And it's all about getting your team to do the upselling. My team not only have the best relationship with the client, but they're the ones that basically project manage the deal, project manage the client, and they also do the upselling. And because I have such a great relationship with my team, they're the ones that are looking at the code, looking at the project and saying, I think we can upsell them on this. I think we can, maybe charge them a bit more for this. I think we can do a bigger project, even in a completely different lane. And because of that, I don't need to be bottleneck and be the person who's always coming up with the new deals. My team can handle it. And let's be honest, who's better to upsell the clients? Me, who's not involved with the client work, or my team that are constantly working with the client day in and day out? But you can't do this unless you have a great team. And that's another big thing that you need to have, but that's for another video, because I could talk about that for hours. So personally, I put the responsibility of upselling the client in my team's hands. And I like to do this because they're the most motivated, because they're obviously getting paid for this. They really want to upsell the client and they want to maintain the relationship. And because they know that they're going to be the ones upselling, it also means I don't need to worry about them looking after the client, having a good relationship with them, because that's all involved in the upsell. Now, I want to talk about an actual strategy that's really effective in terms of pricing when it comes to upselling. Now, this strategy is what I call the credit system. And this is so funny because this actually happened to me by accident, but ever since I started doing this, it works so well. And this is so much sauce. Like, I almost wasn't going to put this in this YouTube video, but I want to tell you because it's really valuable. What I will do is, if a project is starting with a small project and then it's going to lead onto a bigger project in the upsell, the way I will price the client to guarantee the upsell will be on the first deal. Let's say, for example, and I'll use a real example. I charged a client $12,000 for an initial MVP POC of something that we were building. It's like a dashboard for M&A. But in the contract, it said that if they want to move on to the upsell, which is going to be about $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, that they could use the initial $12,000 as credit towards the next deal. And by the way, I didn't come up with this idea. I was actually building my SOW in Manus, which is like an LLM, and it actually put it at the bottom, and the client agreed to it, and they were really impressed by that. And at first I was like, damn, I just lost $12,000. But what I realized was it guaranteed the upsell. So yeah, I may have lost $12,000 on an $80,000 deal, but I still net made $60,000 and the $12,000 up front. It's only credit towards them. But for me, I'm getting paid at all times. This strategy works really well, and you can get creative with how you do it. You can use it towards the retainer that you're charging. You can use it towards the projects that you're charging, in like the example that I just showed. You can get really creative with this, and it works really well. So if you're working with a client, try using this credit system. It also builds massive trust, and it's a great relationship starter with potential clients, because they see, wow, this person's not just in this for this project, they're in this for the long term. And that builds a great relationship with the client. Now, another thing that I want to talk about when it comes to upselling is that upselling begins at the start of the contract. If you try to start upselling right at the end of the contract and you've never spoken about it before, the client's going to be like, what are you talking about? This guy's trying to get more money out of me, and it's weird. Whereas conversely, if from the beginning of the contract, you're talking about new ideas, and we can do this in the future, and we can do this, and you're very inquisitive and interested in the project, then it's not weird towards the end of the project for you to bring up an upsell. Because ultimately, we're calling it an upsell, and it is an upsell to us, and we're making more more money from it and we're upselling the client. But from the client's perspective, they're getting more work, they're getting like a better product, they're getting a better service. And because of that, it's beneficial to them. But if you try and bring it up at the end of the contract without ever bringing it up front, it's going to be difficult. So always have these conversations early. Every single client that I work with, I'm always hypothesizing about new ideas and new strategies. And I even get my team to do this throughout the entire time that they're working with them. And the cool thing is with this is there's no harm in it. And it actually just makes you look really inquisitive and interested in the project. So it's a win-win for everybody. I have to say this, being inquisitive with your clients around the project is what closes big deals. Sometimes people will hire people that are just the most interested in the project. And I've even done this when it comes to the hiring process for my own agency and for my team at Upwork Wales. Sometimes I don't hire the best people, I hire the people that want to be there the most. So if you're constantly interested in their project, constantly suggesting things, they feel like they're part of the team and they feel like they have a relationship with you, and that makes upselling so much easier. The other thing I would say about upselling is that you're going to want to upsell things that actually make sense. And I'll give you a real world example. When we closed the deal for $160,000, which is the biggest deal that has ever happened on Upwork as a single project on this YouTube channel, and I've talked about this a million times, but one thing I haven't told you about, when we closed the client for $160K on Upwork, that blew people's minds on the YouTube Upwork space. But for me, from my perspective, it was a no-brainer. And it was also a no-brainer for the client as well. The reason for that was because this client in particular was spending over $150,000 a month on the thing that we were automating for them. So yeah, we're charging $160,000, but for them, they're going to make that money back in almost the first month, maybe in the second month maximum. So they're going to save over $1 million a year from the automation that we're doing for 160 grand. So from our perspective, we're happy to get paid a lot of money. From their perspective, they're making a small investment to make almost a 10x on the deal. So whenever I'm pricing things up or I'm trying to give an upsell, I always think, how can I actually make the client get an ROI on this? Especially like a 2 to a 10x, that's going to crush every single time. And this is easy to sell because business to business owner sales, like B2B, is all based on like logic and just simple maths. If I'm spending 100K a month on something and you can solve it in 1 month and I never have to pay that 100K a month again, I'm going to be profitable and I'm going to make money. You're happy, they're happy, everyone's happy. It's a win-win. You just ultimately have to make sure it's high ROI for the clients on any upsell or any project that you're doing. Because ultimately, I think sometimes people forget this. Like, we're freelancers, we're service-based businesses. We're here to serve other people. Like, I'm here to serve you on this YouTube channel. I'm here to help and teach. So I'm going to go above and beyond. And I want to make sure that anything I put on YouTube is actually going to have a dramatic effect and increase in your business when you actually take these strategies and use them. And it's the same with clients. You got to over deliver and you got to make sure they're getting a good ROI. Now, 2 more tips that I want to talk about, and these are like little tips, but they do matter, is when you have a peaking moment with the client, when the client's really happy, everything's going great, not only should you go for the upsell, but you should also ask for referrals as well. Because great clients know other great clients, and just getting a few more clients as a referral will help a lot. And it's also important to understand at what point you actually go for the upsell. You can do the upsell at the middle of the contract, especially when like the client's got like their first big win or so on. And on top of that, you can also go for the upsell towards the end of the contract once you finish the first part of the work in your contractual agreement. And one of the final things I'll say is that if you can't upsell the client from the beginning, if you're getting your clients to use softwares or things that they need to sign up for, just make sure that you're using your referral links. That's going to make you a little bit extra money. It's going to help with your LTV overall as an agency. And just in general, it's free money, so you might as well take it. But ultimately, upselling your clients is one of the easiest ways to add more revenue to your business. There's no need to go and constantly get new clients. If I could just constantly get a few 6-figure clients a year and then just keep working with them year on year, it's easy. And think about the maths. If I have a 33% churn on every single client that I work with, there is a literal ceiling and cap that I can't go above when it comes to getting clients and working with clients. And if you think about it logically, if I had a business where every single time a client joined, they never left, business would be super easy. Like, imagine if every single client that you've ever had on Upwork had never left and they're still paying you to this day. You'd be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So that's what we should aim for. And I hope that some of these strategies have helped you. Now, in my one-to-one program, we actually help guide you on every single deal, tell you what to upsell, help you with the deals, and make sure that you actually make the most out of every single client. And if you want help with that and you want to work with me one-on-one, then click the link in the description and I would love to work with you. But ultimately, upselling will change your life. And if you can master this, it's going to make a big difference in your freelancing journey. Especially if you're low 5 to 10K per month, this is what you need to do. You need to focus on client success and upselling and then just scaling your business. But let me know in the comment section if you think I missed anything, and I'll see you in the next video.